10 days back, you were with Mr. Jeff Bezos, maybe the world's richest man.
Yeah.
And you cut short your
Yeah.
speech from 20 minutes to 5 minutes
Yeah.
because the function was 2 hours late. So 2 questions here. First is, what was the reaction of Mr. Jeff Bezos? And the second is, I would add to the, last year I had asked a question to you, that India has to do, say, $10 trillion by 2030. If you were the Prime Minister, what are the 3 things you would recommend? And the first thing which you had recommended was cultural transformation. And in the cultural transformation, you talked about hard work, honesty, discipline, and so on. So how do we scale discipline in the country? That was just part of the same question there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, first of all, let me clarify the situation. The delay had nothing to do with Jeff. Jeff, Amit, they were all there at 9:30. The problem was with the Delhi crowd, which was indisciplined. They, of course, said there were long queues. That cannot be an excuse. So therefore, I was expressing my displeasure not at Amazon, which I knew were present from 9:30 when the function was to start, but at the crowd. Anyway, now the reaction of Jeff Bezos was that he was very understanding. He also believed in discipline. He is a great disciplinarian. He has run his country extremely well, his company extremely well. So he fully understood my situation, and he smiled. He understood. So there was no issue at all. Now, coming to your second question, we listened to this excellent presentation by Rupa. It's a great idea that India uses AI, IoT, and machine learning, all of that, as what I term assistive technologies. That is, they won't replace human beings. They will make human beings even more productive. These technologies will improve the quality of work of these people, and therefore the country will benefit. I think they call it digital. I have been using the term assistive technologies so that it's easier to understand. Anyway, now the reality of India is that when your economy has to improve, there are 3 factors. I am not an economist. I'm a quackish economist, but still, I will say what I have understood out of macroeconomics. Macroeconomics has 3 major parameters, you can say, major factors. One is output, second is money supply, and third is expectation. Most macroeconomists are bothered about these 3 issues. Out of these, clearly output is the most important thing. That's what we mean by GDP, right? If the output of a country increases, the GDP increases, then the per capita GDP increases, then everybody has more money to spend, therefore the economy improves, etc., etc. But for the GDP to increase, for per capita GDP to increase, there are 2 factors. One is the revenue productivity, which is prices of what you buy or prices of what you sell. And second is work productivity. That is how much of work or how much of output you can produce in a unit of time. And in a country like India, it is extremely important for us to work on the second factor. The Indian productivity in most areas is very, very low. Let me give you a very simple example. 14% of Indian population, 14% of India's GDP is contributed by agriculture, on which about 52% of Indians depend upon directly or indirectly. Therefore, the per capita GDP of an agricultural worker in the country is 1/4 of India's per capita GDP of $2,000, which means $500, which is slightly more than $1 a day. Now, it is this person that requires to be supported. It is this person whose basic needs have to be supported. It is this person who has problems with, with availing of healthcare, education, nutrition, etc., etc. Therefore, if India has to improve, then we have to improve our work productivity. We have to be more disciplined. We have to have a better work ethic. I have conducted controlled experiments at various public places in India, where vis-a-vis the West, at airports, airport security. I have looked at other sectors too. I find that the productivity in most of the services that we avail of in public in India is lower. That has to improve. So therefore, I would say the cultural transformation that I was speaking last time is all about discipline. It's all about good work ethic. It's all about honesty. It's all about discipline, etc. Once that happens, I do believe that India will start growing much faster than otherwise.